You've tried to remain very calm. You've tried to be quite level, not get too excited by things. But you spoke so emotionally, didn't you, at the end of the playoff final about how it does affect every part of your life. That walking through your front door, having got that first win, it must have felt like a real sense of relief for you, and just made you believe you're doing things right. Things are happening for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think I have. It's the main driver this year is us being level. Probably not so much for me in terms of knowing you're doing things right, but obviously to the team, because I think, like anything, you have setbacks along the way, and certainly someone in my position, at some point you need to see rewards, or the players do, and I think they were well worthy of that. And of course, being the profession we're in, you always realise you need results, and so yeah, of course there was an element of relief, no doubt, but also a real element of how well we did, and we played very, very well. We've played well in the previous games to this, but not been able to get the win and get the points. So that was big for us on Monday night, and something for us to build on. While also always staying level, because no doubt we will have some more bumps along the way this year.
And have you seen a noticeable difference in your players? Because they must, there's that air, isn't there, that you kind of come in and you work hard, but when you do get that win, there is that confidence. And sometimes it transpires in the top 2 inches, doesn't it? If you go out again at the weekend knowing that you've got that behind you.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right in that. I don't think if there's one thing I will say regarding the group and the way things are, it's always felt like that. I don't think for 1 second. Look, the game was, I think, our 7th game. We've not won in 6, but I think every game we've played this year, I don't think anyone could point the finger or certainly tarnish at us that we look a bit of a downbeat team, or we look a team that lacks confidence. I think people could point a lot more fingers in other places, and we will understand that in terms of maybe some errors we've made or some improvements we need to make as a team. And that's my constant message to this team, because I think we need to understand that we are going to make mistakes. There is going to be elements some weeks that we're going to need to come and work on again on Monday morning, because we've not quite got it right, or players have not quite understood certain moments. So, but the one thing what the players have always brung is a real energy, is a real, an identity about us every time we go out on a football pitch, and a real way about us, really. So, yeah, of course, look, you win matches. Monday morning's always a better place, or Tuesday in this case, this week's always a better place to come into.
The back, you had a debutant, didn't you? You had a totally kind of new back five. I mean, how pleased are you with the way that they adapted as a group, but to playing in the Premier League? Because that's not easy. It's your first clean sheet of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been very pleased that I think the group has changed, and that's what happens when you move up in leagues. To evolve as a football team and as a football club, things move, and so yeah, I was very pleased with the new players that come in. Anderson, who did get injured and has not had a lot of training days with us, albeit has been in a lot of meetings with us and understood very quickly what we want from him. Done very well. So yeah, look, along the way this year we got a squad of 25 odd players, and every one of them's going to play their part. So yeah, but I think overall, I think you're right in saying, I was pleased with the newcomers and how they performed.
And just the importance now, I guess, of going into that international break with 2 wins.
Yeah.
Just got to be done, hasn't it, in terms of enjoying that time and then having a couple of other weeks to work out what your aims are after that.
Definitely, yeah. Look, I think we're going to every game this year the way I want us to play, the way the team want to play. We're going to every game wanting to try and win it. And of course, that's not going to always be the case. But come Saturday night, it will be no different. A tough game against a very, very good opposition who have done very, very well of late. So a tough game, but one which, like you say, going into an international break, we could do with trying to get something out of it. Regroup, work a bit more harder now over that course of the international break with another couple of weeks. We've had a very short turnaround from Wembley to 2 weeks off, and then It's about two-week pre-season, so these international breaks have probably come at good times for us in terms of getting some volume of work into the players and obviously some detail of work. So hopefully we can go and get a positive result and then keep working during the international break.
Just one more that we're asking a lot of the managers about today. Jose Mourinho had a pretty staunch defence of Harry Kane yesterday. I think the criticism is justified towards the England captain. And also, have you seen a bit of a growing trend of what sort of Jose described yesterday, didn't he, as players going to ground when somebody blows at them?
Yeah, I've seen the incident, but I've not heard or I won't get involved in the comments on that. I mean, look, this is when you've got a screen now on the side of a pitch and you're going to slow it down at a frame by frame. You're always now running the risk of people or players working out in their moments, because everything in a football match when it's slowed down can always look or be interpreted in whether it's a foul or not a foul. So that's just the way the game's going, really, I suppose. And the game's changing. I think we can all see that. Certainly, it's changed since I was around, and there seems to be a bit of a perfection of the game which we're all wanting to create, and we're trying to take the real finest of situations and trying to iron it all out. Well, you know, the thing we love about our game and how quick it is and how dynamic it is part and parcel of that, and you need to understand that along the way certain situations are going to happen. But like I said, when now you've got VAR and we can scrutinise every millimetre of someone's foot, where it is, where it ain't, and you're going to always run the risk that these things will appear.
And of course, you can use it in your favour as well. You've just got to be a bit street smart, haven't you? A couple of Premier League managers have said, yeah, I mean, it's what you have to do, isn't it? You train for that, and not necessarily diving, but you train to kind of get the 50-50 outcomes, if you like.
I think they've always been there, though. I think that's always, like you said, not in terms of diving, but you're always the arts of putting your body in certain situations, putting your body between the defender and the ball to manipulate at certain situations. That's always been there. Even more so now, it can be highlighted because, like we said, if it's now going to go back to someone else who's 20 odd miles away, who's going to look at a camera over and over and over again, and slow it down. So that's where we are, really.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Gail. We will stay with broadcast. Do we have a question from PLP? I'll just check with Olivia Buzaglia. Do you have anything to add?
Yes. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Olivia.
Just on that West Brom win, I know it's really early on in the season, but do you think that these games, beating these teams in and around you at the bottom of the table, are sort of doubly as important even this early on?
I got asked that question prior to the game, like, is this a massive game in terms of, but every game's going to be big for us, and of course, when you're playing teams, and I said it as well, that Slavan would have thought the same, that we're obviously, I think we're going to be in and around each other this year. Of course, it is important that you try and take points off, but I still do think it's very early days in the season. At this moment, the table and where everyone is and how the games are panning out is very, very early. But it's vitally important you win them. So yeah, of course, that was pleasing we did.
Do you have, ahead of that West Ham game, do you have any new injury concerns or anything?
Not at the moment, no. The only one who's a little bit touch and go is Lamina. Brought him off on Monday night. Just felt a little bit of a problem. So we'll see how he goes over the coming days to see if he's be fit enough and got a chance for the weekend. But other than that, that's the only real concern.
And ahead of that West Ham game, what positives do you take from the West Brom game into that West Ham game? You know, they had a really good start to the season, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've done very well. Good. Done a very good team, well organised team. I take plenty of positives out of our West Brom game in terms of our intensity and our attacking threat and also the all-round game in terms of defensively as well. I thought we was very acute and very solid. But I've took a lot of positives out of the previous games, and of course we've not won them, and I understand that. But there's been a lot of positives. So hopefully we can take the Monday night's game and obviously move it on again on Saturday and keep improving as a team and as a club, and then see where that takes us.
And finally, just one last question from me. Ruben Loftus-Cheek didn't feature in that West Brom win. Just how impressed have you been with him in general since coming to the club, and how big of a part will he have to play in such a long season?
I've been very impressed with him. Very undoubtable ability and quality. Ruben's been out for a long time, not played football or a lot of football consistently for a long part now, and I think it'd be very clear in terms of it's a long season with a lot of football matches this year. He wasn't involved against West Brom, but I have no doubt he'll be playing, and he'll play a vital role in what we do this year for sure.